Okay. Yeah, I see you. I see like two things right away. First, I saw you came from some star that looks like beautiful turquoise color, and it's spinning and spinning and spinning. And then I see that was there, and then I see here, I see these two main lives. You was the cows, and you have a husband who's making some aprons from leather aprons or whatever. He's working with leather. And you was the cows. I think you're watching after cows, and you were sold to him when you were, first your parents took you to him to work for him when you were 12. But then you married him when you were around 16, but I see more like 15 and a half. It's like what came to me is Georgia, but Georgia as not as a state in the US,
Okay.
as former Soviet Union Georgia by the Black Sea. But it's kind of like the location, but it's like a parallel timeline to the so they're different epochs. And this is 13th century right there. It totally looks different. I see mountains, I see the Black Sea, and I see the houses. The houses look more like made out of clay, and they're kind of like white with like hay on top. I just see a village. It's not called Georgia, no, but it's the Earth overall looks different in that particular timeline in running in parallel to the 13th century and what I got. So you were kind of like a slave to this man all your life, and you refused, you blocked the ability inside yourself to give him children. But you were also very close to animals, to those cows, to those very cows that he would, as you felt, that he would murder to for the leather and for the other like meat or whatever. He would make you go and sell at the open market. That's what like I see the whole scene like it really affects you because it's been unfair to animals, not understanding that they are just a different form of life with consciousness like we have. And he is absolutely kind of like torturing you more like psychologically and spiritual torture. But that life is connected to the when you were talking in the before the session, I saw this igloo, and it's just like kind of west of the United States, and it's like a tribe, and it's kind of like looks like a leather type material. I don't know what it is, kind of like light brown. It's like an indigenous tribe of some sort. And you call yourself Timu.
Okay.
Um, and you are actually a woman with very long hair there, with dark skin. And I see you have this connection with your own self on that star. And you mostly kind of you opened yourself up to the tribe about the star you come from. I'm trying to understand the name of the star because I see like the writing Zerus, like zeros or zeros. And that just eighth dimension going into ninth. It's like, imagine it's like energetic. You cannot see it with physical eyes.
Yeah.
And everything, the whole planet is the ocean, just like one big ocean of like this turquoise color. And you're one of those energetic dolphins who are in it. And the dolphins are the same color but a little darker than the water. So the makeup, basically, they transfer the frequency they carry in their bodies into the water, making it turquoise color because that's the frequency of that color that they carry. Um, and I see like a tall, kind of gray looking beings with very much kind of like pear shaped head upside down, with dark eyes, and they are after the dolphins. Here's another thing that you feel like the outside world is dangerous, is scary, because what they do to you is they catch you as a dolphin. They also catch whale like creatures, but they look different. They transparently pink, and they call themselves curs, like Kurs. They have these interesting spaceships that look like a ring with in front there's like a cylinder in front. It's almost like a ring you put on your finger, but where you put the rock in or whatever, that's the opening. It's kind of like from where there's a beam of light comes out, and it can shatter, it can penetrate any surface with a laser beam of any protection possible. Like they're very technologically advanced or whatever they are, like that. And so they take you and they put you on Beta Centauri for experiments. There's a huge giant tank there in the lab. The lab is covered like a dome. So that's one of your incarnations there. So you didn't even end on Earth from that one, but you are there as a dolphin. But then I see from that planet, there's another one. This planet, when you go all the way back, it's not a planet. I mean, it's a star. When you go back, it wasn't covered with the ocean. The ocean was created by the beings who wanted to experience life as creatures in the water, aquatic beings, because they have different set of characteristics. So originally I see you like a ball with little antennas, like receptors, and there's just like little holes in the ground of this planet. And the planet is covered with like a fuzzy kind of like brownish, it's not dirt, it's just fuzzy kind of substance which forms craters like little holes through which it's like a little tunneling, tiny tunneling system like tubes connected to the essence of the planet, that almost like you would take a little straw and blow a bubble out of it, so like dip it into um, soap and blow a bubble. That's what the planet, the star does, like blows out of herself, produces little souls who can experience life on the surface because it's like it creates a balance needed for you to grow. And I feel like from this blue color originally, it turned into turquoise because it matured, and from the mature state, it would go into yellow, which is would be like more mature state. But that's another line that I see, that the ball, this little ball, you get bored basically of being on the surface and you try to fly out. You fly like a group of five souls and you go into the solar system because you're out of it. You explore different systems. That's what you wanted to do. And you see something's bad going on, something's really bad going on. And since you love the idea of flora, fauna, life, any form of life, and you see that life gets destroyed here, you know how to create. You have this ability to create, just like you got together with the other souls and you create a different density level of this very planet when it would be covered with water. You wanted to create here, but then you realize that things are already created and exist, but they are actually getting destroyed at very fast speed, high speed. And you know you have a knowledge and you hold the knowledge of, it's like the energy code system in you. You're like a universal physicist in a way who knows how to bring that together with the energy of healing to the earth, to heal the ecosystem of it. So you just decided to go. Those other four that you came as a cluster, they decided to stay out of it because they feel that it's very bad. So what you do, you incarnate in this igloo. That's what I saw before. Not the igloo, teepee, right? That's the one, the triangle one was the sticks. Yeah, sorry. And so this woman with the long hair down to the surface of the planet, yeah, you kind of have this knowledge of different things, how to manifest and create with your thoughts, with your emotion paired together. It creates a universal formula for creation. And you also know how to drain, like pull together all the energies in your heart area and kind of like project that um, excitement of your creation outside. And so it builds up before your own eyes. And you would like teach the villagers of that, because other ones would teach like healing techniques, and you're more about healing of the actual living beings, but in a different way, not through herbs or more like through energetic kind of uh, changing the energetic, the frequencies of those plants, of those animals that are suffering from what I see or what they were suffering at that moment. Draco and Reptilian Alliance, they tried so many times to shake the planet to get it off of the original kind of location when it was fixed It was fixated in a way in some energetic kind of bubble in the certain corner of the universe where it would serve as like universal passageway or stargate for different alien beings to come through and also to come here to in our understanding like conferences meetings of different galactic federations and things like that. That was supposed to be on Earth here, and you just wanted to kind of use the opportunity because you saw there was a window of opportunity to help do that, to help build this up and return it back to normal. But it was tempered was constantly. I see literally like um, bubbles. I see like a different century, like 11th or 12th century, when the people are dressed in those kind of shorts, puffy everything. And I see in the sky there's like almost like plasma balls hitting the earth and the surface being shaken and they're all like running and screaming. And you have this thing when you go to sleep, you jump from one time to another timeline, from one epoch to another, and you cleanse the pockets of different events that created disbalance and the earth, um, inner earth, outside earth, overall. Like this energetic disbalance, it's like you put a ball in this particular pot, but then somebody destroys this pot, creates an artificial one with a different lower vibration, puts it in. I feel like the earth was fixed into the wrong spot. Um, and now it's shaken off of it with the help of all of us because we finally realized our right to live the life we want, the original. And so you're helping with that. But the problem is that life is just like so affecting you. The one was that Georgian farmer and you as a little girl and then you grow, grow, grow. So first of all, he beats you up because you just tell him you cannot bear children and he like starts using you as a slave, but you totally used your ability and you blocked your own ability to reproduce, to get pregnant or anything like that. But then you're trying to save the cows and you just bring them to some other farmer and leave them there and tell him because you know he's gonna treat them well. And you got to meet him at the farmer's market where he would send you to sell the meat. And then from that, like you hated the whole idea how people treat animals because you're very connected to animals in nature from those other lives. And you just he finds out about it and he tells you go back and bring them back. He's not gonna deal with this guy, but and you refuse. And he basically beats you up to the point like you lose your consciousness and I see you exiting your body through the top of your head and you're just getting out. But then that whole being, that whole kind of vicious looking, like he goes like cars, like that's their race, shows up on this ring shaped spacecraft and he sucks you in through that laser. So there's a laser beam that they use sometimes, and other times they use the blue light, and blue light goes like this and it sucked you in. So you didn't get a chance to get out. But then that was 5 lives ago. This is life number 6. And what they do in this life is I see you. Basically, it's like a hospital you're in. you're on one of the beds in a separate room. Everybody has a separate room. The room has a very strange torture techniques. Like here, I see like a metallic round, like a wheel with spikes, and they would like put you on them sometimes to make your back hurt, like the upper back. And then there's like a hook on top. They would just put you like literally on the skin on the back, the same thing. More like when the neck starts, and so you would be hanging there. So it's like you are confined, and I see you try to escape so many times that little room, and it's like a tiny square room. There's only this metallic bed, that's all. And those like devices, and one of the devices like this machine is right here, and there's like first there's like a panel, it's transparent glass, and it's a touch panel. And then there's like a machine that from which there's like an arm comes onto you and does almost like laser beam surgery on your stomach. And I also see like you in the other room also. But that other one is like a printed version of you. It's like a clone of you that is in the other room. And I see they put, and they're like, they fixed you, like spread your energy out because you're very like powerful energy. And they use some device to stretch you out, your uterus right there. And they would put baby hybrids. Like I literally see like a dragon type embryo with some human, kind of like if you look at the human embryo, kind of the same curvy legs, hands, but he has the wings and he has kind of like a dragon looking snout. And they would put it into you for 2.8 months every time to grow. And once it's matured, this arm from the wall comes out and takes the baby out. And kind of they use some laser yellow to heal the wound because they literally like it's like a C-section of some sort to take the baby out. And then they produce another hybrid. They bring it in a kind of like a glass container, and then they do insertion, like insert from like into the uterus. But then they can't take it out because it grows too big. That's why they do surgery. And your saying in your head is like stuck is stuck. I better cooperate because they torture you. Every time you escape, they put you on the wall in one of those hooks or the hooks that like spin you and like that. And they're using your knowledge also to reverse things. Instead of, let's say, reviving things, making them die, things like that. And you know about it. So it bothers you a lot. It bothers you about life, about the system that is like, it's like distorted mirror system. That's what your subconscious says about it. Um, but then I see you on the other planet. You also been you've lived quite on different planets on this universe because I also see you. Um, some interesting race was kind of like darkish skin with big brown eyes, brown hair. Um, totally look like humans, but there's something about the eyes. They just so there's just consciousness pouring out from them in like beams of light, and it touches you deeply. Um, so, but that's from some other constellation. You say it's a whale constellation. That's what this race comes from. And but you mostly focused on, yeah, well, I see, yeah, those 5 lives that you have before this one are really traumatic. And then mostly about, there's another life that's like a slave trade. They trade you as a slave on a ship, and I see the man from England who came to Cambodia, and he's transporting the slaves into England, and you're one of them. You're also a woman there. See, like you're a woman everywhere, the lives. And that's also like they developed this program in you on both sides, the physical level, physical lives, and also in the etheric, that you're a slave to either the research center, which is it just basically those rooms, it's just like a giant ship, and there are different floors, and this is the floor where they raise embryos in different DNA carriers, like they call you. So they take them in energy bodies from different stars or planets, usually young ones, because it's easier to take. And then they raise their hybrids. They also take your DNA. They usually mutate your DNA into something needed, but that still has some certain percentage, like at least 4% of yours. So the embryo would connect to you. And at the etheric level, you're laying there and hoping that someday you'll find all your hybrids, all your 21 hybrids that you got, and they raised in you throughout this life. But for now, I see you slowly getting up. I'm standing right there. You're getting up from this bed. And you say, now I'm gonna pull out my energy sphere from the pod system that they created to support their their projects, their labs, their printers, the cloning facility, everything. And I see you like getting this turquoise kind of energy out of some, it's like the metallic base, but it's white, and then the glass ball, and it opens up, and it's like you literally kind of go walk into it, and it expands around you like an aura, and it's giant, it's huge. It's like a big, like 2-story building, probably like a house around you. And so you're in your energy sphere. The only thing is just you're trying to get out the two major things. There are some things that held you at this like level of reproductive organs, and they look like kind of like V-shaped metallic things on both sides of your hips. You take them out, and then there's like a rod in the spinal cord which connects to it creates like a connection to the stomach with, it's almost like triangular. It's kind of like the molded, the metallic, totally metallic wire into two kind of triangular shaped and holding like a stomach like this, certain kind of way, because that gives the warmth and it collects the energy to give to the embryos which are in the uterus. So there was like a system created specifically. And then there is like a panel on the back. It looks like that and goes like this. And it has some kind of like lights on it. And when certain light turns on, they know their system, because it's all robotic, reads that something's wrong, like something, you need to be injected with some sort of hormone to support the life that you're growing inside you or something like this. And they would constantly like inject things into you to support the growth of whatever hybrid is in you. And they would do it every 2 months. And a lot of them failed to survive. So there's only 21 survived throughout your life. So you see them in different places in the universe, and you're just saying that you need to disconnect from them because they're causing you a lot of torment and inside of you. Like you don't respect yourself as the mother who gave birth to them, because that's the main instinct that you have inside of you. But they were implanted against your will also. And your physical body, your physical mind is not even aware of what's going on. All you know is they've done this through trauma, and they implanted all these implants into you through trauma also. All the traumatic events in the other 5 lives that you lived through. So you took the panel out, the clips on the sides, the rod. There are also some, it's like a spider web. It's almost like somebody put like an energetic, but it's not energetic. When I touch it, I can feel it in your head. It lies flat, like a horizontal position, right in the middle of your head. And the same exact, but it's more like a cage without one side, like around your heart. You would take it out all the time. Like this one, you were fighting with them, and it's not even active anymore. I mean, it's just there because they try to use that to shock you sometimes, especially in your sleep, to make you produce certain low vibration emotions of low vibration, to give more energy to the fetus that is inside you, because they are low vibrational beings. And they would use like different, and the same thing with the spider web in your head. It would give you bad nightmares. um also feel like you suffered some kind of mental damage through your childhood also, which helped them fixate that spider web with multiple different programs of trauma reminders. It's like they constantly keep reminding to you, so you never get out away from it, because they totally need you to be in this low vibration or in the fighting mode. So you're taking right now the implants out of you. I see how you pulled this bright orange web from your hand, the cage from the heart, and the other ones are already in front of you. And you have those 12. They look like dots with rotating lights around. Those are like chakras, but you have 12 of them that they're also kind of pulling your energy through that system. And you pulled it out. They look like 12 glowing dots on the floor, different colors. You open a portal and push them all through out. Close the portal. And then you tell them to bring your book, because you know you have a book. You say, there's no doubt, I remember it. And they bring like a book. It's bright blue book that it has like a like a dolphin shape on it. Just a shape. It's like a metallic 3D dolphin on it. And so basically you just go through pages. So here's the program. Being a victim who knows where it belongs and follows the commands and just feels hopeless and helpless in every way possible, because they also try to, there's a big mental aspect of it, how they put like lots of programs. The programs I see, they look kind of interesting. They look like a cord made into a loop, and in the loop there's an energy sphere that keeps rotating like a disc, and there's like multiple discs like this with programs in the mental body that you have. um you take them all out. There's like 53 of them that you counted. You took them out, you threw them out of the portal, and I see you created like a device, looks like a flashlight with laser beam, and you pointed it at the book, and it like exploded into little sparks of blue light, and you formed like a heart out of the sparks with your mind, and it just disappeared, and you said that you encoded the information from all your knowledge, how they torture you in here and how to get out of this prison of your mind. Through this information you encoded into the sparks, and they just like dissipated in the in cosmos everywhere they went. And at that time when you share the information, I see all the whales, all the dolphins they took, that they sent to this Beta Centauri. They just left. They just left. They changed their molecular structure. They were able to wiggle out of those containers, of those huge tanks that they were in. They could like literally go through glass. I saw them going back to the time and space when they were on your planet. And so you help them liberate themselves, and you liberated yourself too. So the book is gone. The emotional body is also being cleansed. Your parents were a part of the system. They picked them for you. You could never really pick anybody, because it's like they got you and they used you to the fullest, even managed to separate your energy sphere from your energy body, to use you both separately. That's why you never felt like you had home that would be safe. That's why you were like, you wanted to feel that freedom to go out anywhere and explore, but in every life you were kind of stuck in a certain situation that you didn't feel like you could get out due to programming. So you're going to every single of those 5 lives, and you're just changing how they went. And what I want to say, that one of the lives you're a healer, little Austrian village, clearly Austria. like Nuggen Schuler. That's what I see and hear. It's some area or something there in Austria. They used to be in 17th century, and you're in this village, and you're. It's almost like people consider you a witch or something, but you actually have the. You went to some medical doctor who taught you a lot of things, but then on top of that, you pulled, because you're always connected to your own self, you pull the knowledge from your other incarnations in other planets and stars where you are healing, actually healing physical beings, mostly with, you could just make, like, let's say, chamomile tea, but you would program the water or the tea or anything with your eyes. It's like your eyes and your thoughts could program it. There's something that both they form like energy that are structures, because I see if I zoom out into the liquid, it just becomes like beautiful, kind of like snowflake, but there are different colors even and structures connected to each other, and they would, when the person drinks it, who got, and it would read the frequencies of each organ, those little structures, they're almost like crystalline, and they would repair the cellular damage, or because that's how they program them, and the person would heal because the frequency of the particular organ that was sick would be detected. It's almost like an AI technology, but created naturally. That's what you can do. Um, and you can do that with yourself also. You can heal yourself that way because you just did it in the astral. What you did, you just completely disconnected from the spaceship you're in, and that's where those curs were, those aliens. They're really very vicious. I feel like they're almost like Mitras or those Zeta Grays. Yeah, it's kind of like torturing. They like to torture, get that energy out, and bottle it up sometimes and sell it, or use it for their own, you know, hybridization program. You disconnect from all of it, and I see you going through that lab and opening some containers that look like metallic boxes. Like it's basically like little rooms connected to each other, and there's even connected with the doors in between. So you go through each, and you found this bigger room where there's a desk and computer. It looks very old black computer kind of box type, but it works. It hooks up to your consciousness, and you did something on it when it made all the samples that they have with your DNA disappear. I don't know how you did it, but you infiltrated their system with your consciousness, kind of like pulled all the energy of your subconscious in one dot and shot it out like a beam, laser beam into their system, and did that. So destroyed all of those. And yeah, you are done with everything, and you said that you healed all the wounds from your childhood, from everything. you basically, it's kind of like you created a separate room. It's called your childhood. I see like it's right here. And you painted the different colors, the colors you wanted. And colors represent emotions that you would like to change those emotions into this. And just open the door, close the door, and left it behind. Like you're not gonna think about it. It's all changed. All the timeline there, the events of this timeline is changed. So, did all of that. And you're done. I don't see anything else that you're saying night guests are not gonna come anymore. You call the night guests as those who would come and check on you periodically in the room when you would try to like wiggle out of their control system with all these cords that you got disconnected from. And you said because you disconnected from everything, you're not going to have any sensations at night or nightmares or anything of the kind anymore. So you're done here. And yeah, like none of it exists anymore. Not your clone in the other room. Nothing. You disconnected and you returned, kind of cut off the power to all those. So they cease to exist. You can ask any questions if you want.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was just amazing. I'm blown away. Um, I just want to ask. I have a pain in my lower back that's quite constant, and um, it sometimes immobilizes me, and a pain in my arm, um, my left arm. And I'm not sure how I got it, but I got it in the last 2 years. It suddenly started becoming a real problem, and I'm unsure where it came from.
Yeah, it came from. Remember how that you had on the hips? You
Yes,
had those triangular kind of like clippers that you
yes,
took off.
yes,
And then when as the embryo on your uterus would grow bigger, it would
yeah,
put more pressure, and your physical body would almost, it's like when you carry a baby to the term at the end, like your back hurts, your lower back. On
yes,
top of those clippers, you had
yeah.
this growing inside you. They would constantly do it to you. It
Okay,
just that a lot of them didn't survive, but would still go through this, be getting heavier and putting pressure on the lower back.
okay,
The left arm is from the cage and the heart. It was like irradiating the low vibration and just balancing you. And I even saw like your left side was kind of like a different color
yeah,
because you kind of look all turquoise, like light
okay,
turquoise, but here
yeah,
it's like it was darker. And
okay,
also your DNA that you're saying that you have 18 strands,
yeah,
and you're saying that you're just trying to get back to that life. The
yeah,
first life you came here, you had 18 strands,
okay,
but you altered them, to kind
yeah,
of fit into this body, basically. Otherwise, you would not even fit into this container.
yeah,
But in reality, you have 100 more, so it's like 118. Um, but you did keep, they didn't do anything to your 18 because you just wouldn't let them.
yeah,
Um, and they're still there. They look like strands. They look like this swirling, energetic. kind of, but there are 18 of them. So
Okay. Okay. Um, oh, I also have recurring dreams of being around trafficked children. It comes in my nightmares quite constantly. And I'm trying to help them and I'm trying to rescue them. I don't know why I get that. I felt maybe I was there, but I'm not sure where it's coming from.
it's interesting when you start talking about it. First, I saw that some of the because of the idea of your mother and hybrids, and they would use some of the hybrids like those children also. And
Yeah,
plus, I saw briefly, like, I saw a face of Michael Jackson and he was singing Heal the World. It's
yeah,
like this theme throughout all your lives. Like, you want to heal the world, whatever system is malfunctioning, not only the ecosystem that you wanted to fix, you wanted to fix everything that's on the surface,
yeah,
like including humans. So, and you're just like so connected to the problems with the space, with other, you figured everything out because you never lost that connection, plus you yourself were suffering, so the physical mind and body understand suffering at a very deep level, and it's almost like you knew what to do
yeah,
when sometimes this aspect of you would go and look for your hybrid children. You would also notice how much child trafficking is going around in not only human race, other races also. So, and you would try to stop them because there's a coalition of volunteers from different star races who actually doing stopping the children on the way, and then they take them to
mm,
some healing, like to some planets or stars where they have healing facilities, you know
yes,
to they basically kind of like erase the trauma or the memories from what they've been doing to them and fill them up with beautiful new like energies. It's equivalent to energies of nature, flowers, rivers, waterfalls. That's what I feel.
yeah,
And you've been part of that movement, of that volunteering for that too in one of your lives. And since they all run in parallel, it's
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
like part of you.
yeah, you. Um, I wanted to ask about my husband. I don't know what or who he is because it's very strange. I feel a very strange um energy. I don't know what it is, but it's always kept me thinking something's not quite right.
Yeah, he's a Draco. He's that one. He's got quite a big percentage of his DNA actually mutated. I clearly see 32% of his DNA mutated, and he's etheric by Draconian Empire, and they're bragging about how many souls they got, and how many souls they managed to convince through different mental mind programming
Yeah.
on Earth to take on the substances to mutate their DNA,
Okay.
and he's one of them. But when you mentioned your husband, I mean, it's like straight away that farmer who beat up not a little girl, but you kind of look like very young in that life. When you saved those cows,
Yeah.
that was your husband there by
Okay.
forced marriage
Yeah.
thing. And that
It's
was
fu-
like a contract in this life also was him.
it's funny. Yes. It's funny because I felt I had no choice but to marry him in this life. So that sort of matches.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah, your
Um,
parents.
Yes, because of my parents, yes. Um, okay. So there were I was not somehow after, you know, my husband said he wanted a family, but really in actuality didn't, and he would be very controlling in that respect. And so I had to go through when it finally came down to I found out the truth that he didn't want to have a family or even be with me. I went to IVF and I have two beautiful children. But is there a reason why I could not have children naturally? And I have one more question. I have an embryo and eggs left, and I'm not sure what to do because they have stopped me from using them.
Yeah, because you're part of this hybridization program on that spaceship. The reason why you couldn't have them naturally because they wanted to keep your uterus for their hybrids and their etheric level, and it affects the physical. There are two reasons, though. The second reason is you blocked yourself in that life because you
Yes,
didn't want to have children from him because you
yes,
really hated him for all
yes,
the abuse and all of this.
true, right,
So, and it's kind of like that block, but in reality, you can easily have children.
okay,
Um, because we are creators, we
yeah,
can just literally
yeah,
do it to ourselves.
yeah,
And yeah, and for him, it's like he he's also it's kind of like negotiation process in between controllers of different souls. For him, they told him that, hey, that's your karma, and here's how she couldn't have children that life, and in this life is the same thing, but you have to be nicer this time and maybe she'll give you or whatever. But but that's the fine print. The small print on the contract was totally different,
right,
that he wouldn't want to have children
yeah,
because it would have to be the opposite of what it was in that other life. In that other life he really did want to have children,
right,
but you wouldn't give to him. And in
yes,
this life, he
yes,
didn't want to, but you wanted. You know how they switch and they
yes,
call it karma?
yes,
Like
yes,
now you're
but
this and you're that. Yeah.
upside down, yes,
Made up system of control, of torturing, basically.
yes,
Yeah.
okay. Going forward, will I be able to utilize my I really do feel that I have the healing capacity even before this, but I just not sure how to use it in going forward. Like, yeah. I don't know if you can tell me anything about it.
Yeah, I feel like you can program any essential oil,
Okay.
any like herbs, if you put like herbs, like any hot tea, or but I feel like you can actually program essential oil and people would use them and they would feel the different results from what they would just buy from the store, let's say.
Yes.
But I also feel like you're very much with your energies, and you're very excited about moving to this new kind of space we're all creating. Some
Yes.
people call it New Earth. It doesn't matter. It's just a new space with new rules, and
Yes.
it's all rules of nature, and we are part of it.
Yes.
And everybody will be doing his own thing he can do best. And what you can do best is just with your mind and soul and your glance of your eyes, you just program anything, any substance, physical substance like water, tea, oil, anything,
Wow.
you know. It's like putting a spell in a good way. And
Yes.
so yeah, you
Okay.
can do that.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, don't know. Oh, just one last question. Would I ever, this life has been a lot about loneliness and feeling very alone.
Mhm.
Is that going to change moving forward? Or do I just like I find I've just resigned myself to just being by myself, literally, um, for most of my life. And I'm not sure if that is ever going to change.
Right, it's because you've been confined in this little small hospital type room on the
Yeah,
spaceship. That's how you felt
yeah,
lonely all the time. It's like
yeah,
you can get out. But yeah, you got out already and you know
okay,
the strengths of your soul. So he
yes,
has to be a totally different feeling in
yeah,
terms of by physically you also have to, make some moves and, maybe first connect to some people. Maybe would be nice to physically meet some people also to just talk about the same topics because I
yeah,
feel like it's hard for you to find before people who you just like one on one talk about this what interests you, what you feel.
yes,
Because it's important for you to express the feelings. I feel like you've never been allowed to
no,
in those lives and this life and childhood and all this.
yes, yeah, true, yeah. Okay, um, I think that's it. I don't think I have any more questions.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
just thank you so much. I'm just so grateful to you for everything you have done. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks. You're beautiful there. Let me turn off 101. Stop recording.